What's up, my frequent flyers? This is Dr. Darren, the president of the PHAST Foundation. Welcome to week 9/10. Unreal.
We demoed some stuff, we swept some stuff, we carried some stuff, we traveled to a place, the place, then we stood in awe of some amazing stuff. Till we touched some stuff, we touched some more stuff, we tried to touch some really high stuff, then we rode some flat stuff, then we rode some hilly, bumpy, jumpy stuff, then some uppity-downy, sideways stuff, then we rode around and around some stuff, and then some up, down, sideways, turn around stuff, then some hilly, bridgy, woods stuff. Then we got back to work. We bought some stuff, we unloaded some stuff, then we did some math on some stuff. We drilled some stuff, we cut some stuff, we cut some more stuff, we bought some stuff, we broke some stuff, we built some stuff, and then we tore down that stuff.
You to consider subscribing and follow along in this journey as we do something that is going to create generational changes. To do something that has only been done literally a handful of times in the entire world. In the tiny town of Quincy. Let's do this.
Yeah, you guessed it. We did some more demolition. I'll never get old. It'll never get tiring. I love it. This is like my industrial version of gardening. I just get to create by taking down. I've been working on this last corner because, as you can see to the left, this is where one of the main entrances are going to be to access each of the 3 floors. After we got that all cleaned up before we started the building, I had to unload a ton of stuff that was donated to me by my hospital. One of the things I'm excited about this building is that we actually have a home office now, a place, a base that we can start to do things out of. And right now we're currently planning a trip to Peru in 2023. Now, before I flew to Peru, I needed to go to Cleveland, Ohio, the original place of the world's first indoor mountain bike park built by Mr. Ray Petro. And there is the famous, iconic smokestack. Seeing that honestly made me more giddy than the first time I ever went to Disney World. I was so excited to get here, to see here, to be here, and most importantly, to ride here. Now, what a lot of people don't know is the backstory to Ray's Mountain Bike Park. It is located in this industrial park about 30 miles away from the Cleveland airport. Now, how it came to be is Mr. Ray Petro, as told by the story in his biography, is that he was addicted to drugs and alcohol. He was basically on death's doorstep every year. One year, while he was drunk and high in a bar, someone brought in a bicycle, and he saw it and he liked it. The next day, he bought his own bicycle, and he went on a ride in the mountains. And he said that he got such a high and an adrenaline rush from riding on this mountain bike trail that he knew he was hooked onto something else. So he started to replace the drugs and alcohol, and every time he got a desire to get a hit of alcohol or drugs, he would go mountain biking. Now that created a problem though, because in the winter in Cleveland, it was ugly. And so he would go back to the drugs and go back to the alcohol. And he knew he had to do something drastic to save his life. And this is what he came up with. He decided he needed to build something that he could ride year-round, especially during those cold winter months. And he created the Ray's Indoor Mountain Bike Park. And as you can tell, it is no small feat. There are features and ramps and jumps and rollers in a building that is almost 200,000 square foot. Now, what was amazing about going here is that not only was I excited to ride it, that I was looking at every square inch of the building, looking at things that most people would probably ignore. Things like spacing between nails, joists, the type of material they used, how they built ramps and berms, what was the type of securing system they did, how did they paint it, what materials did they use, how safe was it, what was the things behind it. It was absolutely so neat for me to see everything. Throughout the whole day, I would be riding and just would stop in the middle of a track and crawl under and take pictures, which I had permission to do so because I was invited by Ray himself to come out and ride. But it was so fun because I was just going around, feeling, touching, examining, measuring, stepping off, taking pictures of things. So this was an entire different level of exploration for me. It wasn't just riding, which was phenomenal, and I did for over 6 hours straight, and my legs were so jello. This trip was also a research trip in which that I was examining every inch and underbelly of every ramp and feature that was built, because we wanted to bring this level of quality back to Quincy. Not to mention like lighting, heating, security, fire. We were trying to figure out the clearance Ray's place when compared to the Quincy Fast Tracks building. But there's only so much examining that you can do before you start to get antsy when you're surrounded by this mecca of a playground. So what's cool about Ray's is one of the main floors when you come in is this room that's designed just for kids. It's simple painted trails that kids can kind of follow, work on their balance, their turning, and gives us something to kind of test out. This is a phenomenal concept that we definitely will emulate in one of the rooms in the Fast Tracks building. But as you can imagine, I didn't spend too much time there. I increased my difficulty level. As you can tell, I'm not the most skilled technical rider, but it was a blast to try to work on the balance and ride around on these simple flat structures. They're incredibly cheap to build. They're incredibly universal for skill level, and most people can ride on these. We'll have definitely a handful of these in certain rooms and spread throughout hallways and trails, so to give people an opportunity to kind of get used to riding. But then as we started to feel more comfortable, started to ride different levels and different rooms throughout, and it is no understatement that I literally got lost in this building. I found this one particular room by accident, and it was just a circular pump track, and I went around it over and over and over. It wasn't complicated. There was nothing crazy or unique about it, but I just was having such a blast that I literally just rode for so much time around and around and around and around till I found this one room that was like the previous one on steroids. It was this phenomenally built and designed room that had these berms that cut left and right with rollers, and it was this insane pump track. This room is the exact type of design that we will be emulating in our basement floor of the Fast Tracks. It allows a person, if you're not familiar with a pump track, to basically cover an insane amount of real estate and ride on a lot of different features without ever having to pedal. You're using your body weight and gravity and timing to basically pump through these systems of elevation and depressions to carry your momentum. It is incredibly addicting and fun, and it is extremely tiring. As you begin to go through all the different courses on this trail, then you begin to go through different technical areas where you have turns and bigger drops and twists, and it was so fun to go through these and not know what you're doing, especially to have all these courses and trails that you've never ridden before. So it was an extreme challenge on your skill, because you had all these blind spots that you didn't know what it was going to feel like, how it was going to throw you or twist you, and how you were going to ride on it. And you can see these water buckets and cones. I loved everything about Ray's, because it literally at points was just mattresses wrapped with duct tape and trash bags over it. There was buckets and cones to just show that the leak of this huge factory, there was water. It was just like someone had built something in their backyard, and a bunch of friends and brothers in the neighborhood were riding it times a billion. The features on there were so fun. He had all these creative twists and turns. One of the coolest thing on there was he actually had an elevator that would use your own body weight to drop down and ride. And as you can see, this type of wood right here, this is wood that we have over 54,000 square foot of, and we're going to be repurposing it and using it. And not only is this something that's really cool and feel good story that we're repurposing and upcycling this building material and the history behind it, but we're also finding that it is actually a necessity, because building materials is so high right now. Having the access to all of this material and wood from the building itself is going to help us save thousands of dollars. Here's that elevator I was talking to you about. It is so awesome. This is one of many features of this building. But alas, I could not ride there forever. So I was back to the work. Now luckily I was able to find this gentleman who was taking down a barn out of this old farmhouse, not even 10 miles south of my home. So we struck a deal and we were able to get the old barn tin, which we're going to use in the entryway and the lounge area. It's going to offer this huge, amazing look and feel to give a nod to the Midwest farming community. And so we hauled it back to the building.
You can imagine the overall cost of this venture is not going to be a small feat. So we are asking all of you, any that are able and willing, to make a donation to the PHAST Foundation so that we can help build this thing for Quincy. Reach out, thepast, PHAST.org, email, phone, social media. We appreciate everything that you donate, your time or otherwise.
This tin is so beautiful, and I'm so excited to get it up in the viewing areas and make it part of our building. Once we got it all unloaded, then we went back to that hole and started to design and finalize the measurements. There you are, Peter. The measurements for the ramp that's going to give us access from the top flight deck to the brickyard to the main deck down to the basement. Now, honestly, I cannot believe I'm actually saying this, but this was actually a pretty fun process because most of the time I built things throughout my life, it's kind of been using the eyeball test. But using these math and tips from construction workers that I've spoken with throughout my life, being able to build something more confidently and securely was pretty dang fun, knowing that once it's completed, it's going to be safe, it's going to be exactly as we planned, really kind of neat. So here what we're doing is we're drilling through the steel I-beam and into the concrete subfloor so that we can then attach with bolts the base and support beams of this ramp going up from this brickyard to the flight deck. So in order to do that, we wanted to clear some these handrail bars. And once I had the angle grinder already out, I noticed a few pieces of rebar that were sticking out. This is going to be kind of problematic for any riders that are coming up from the main deck to this brickyard floor. So we wanted to clean that up and make it sure it's all nice. It was nice, and we got some delivered wood to be able to use for the support beams for the ramps.
Yeah, well, this just happened. We got the wood delivered, and I was super excited. Went to go pick up my daughter from kindergarten and went to lower the garage door, and it decided to not want to function. So I guess that's what 100-year-old buildings decide to do when you have 5 minutes until pickup time. So we're really in a jam because we do not live in a thriving metropolis that has a plethora of options as far as garage door repairs go. So I can't leave this open because I have all of this stuff, tools, material, not to mention just liability coming people in. So I don't know, I might sleep here. I got a hammock from camping. Maybe I'll just sit here, do not enter sign. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It is all cattywampus. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do. You know, sometimes you just gotta trust people and you're really in a pickle. So I actually had to leave the building wide open. So I had to go pick up my daughter. You know, I don't know which is worse. Someone stealing all my lumber or facing the wrath of a kindergarten teacher for being late during pickup time. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. I think I have an idea. I think I'm gonna frame out a wall and use the tin as a barrier, because really that tin that I bought from the barn is not much different from that tin. And hopefully that will buy me some time until whoever can fix it can get here. All right, let's do it.
Now, anybody out there with actual construction skill and professionalism, don't you go and judge my wall building capabilities. This was 1000% about speed. Getting it up as fast as I possibly could just to cover the hole so that it could be protected.
Now, sometimes you have hidden surprises because look, that's what the inside of the lounge area is gonna look like. It looks sweet. So hey, this is about as secure as it's gonna get. I'm gonna top off that little side spot right there, but you know, I was super frustrated when this happened, and I'm not out of the woods as far as the frustration aspect of it. But that makes me so happy because that looks dope. Like so sweet. Now, since I don't know how trustworthy that door is going to be, and I don't know when they're going to get here, I was thinking of putting all my tools and all the bikes, loading them up, taking them home. And then I realized, no, this building was built for this day, this very challenge, this opportunity. And it came with a safe, baby. So we're putting it all in the safe. All right, so let's do this. Okay, see if I remember this. Okay. No peekies, no peekies. Oh yeah. Woo! This is gonna be my anti-theft room. Let's do it. I love when life throws you little curveballs like that, but then there's still light on it. And then you realize curveballs are pretty dang cool if you figure out how to hit them. Are you kidding me? Check it out. See if you can see this. They are my saviors. Overhead door, recommend them. Literally, I was putting the very last piece of tin up and they showed up. I was preparing for this to be like a week-long wall and checking on it, staying here overnight, me hanging out with the raccoons, but they showed up, got it working like a charm, man. Bam, it was awesome. So that is officially the fastest wall erected and destroyed in my life. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, consider it. If you have any desire to donate your time or your financial contributions, email, reach out through social media. It was a pleasure. This is a huge undertaking and we can only do it with your support. We are trying to build this for Quincy, by Quincy. Next week-ish is week 10, 11, 12, 13. I have no idea, never do, but I appreciate you coming along this journey. Noggin. Motherfuckers, squid fingers.